Let's be real. In the high-stakes world of fashion, where you get your apparel made is, well, it's everything. Today, we're diving into how one country, Bangladesh, has become this quiet, strategic powerhouse for some of the world's biggest brands. We're going to break down exactly what makes it a top choice for premium apparel.
So let's just start with a big question, especially if you're in fashion or retail. In this age of constant change, is your supply chain really ready for what's next? I mean, you're constantly trying to juggle reliability, quality, ethical standards, and of course, price. It is a tough balancing act, and just one weak link can throw everything off.
Well, the answer we're exploring today might actually surprise you. It's Bangladesh, and it's not the manufacturing hub you might have been thinking of years ago. It has evolved into one of the most dependable and, frankly, sophisticated sourcing destinations for apparel on the planet.
Okay, so here's how we're going to break this all down. First, we'll get into the why. Why are so many huge brands choosing Bangladesh? Then we'll look at the incredible ecosystem that makes it all possible. We'll see how sustainability is actually adding brand value, not just cost. We'll talk about why having a partner on the ground is so crucial. And then finally, we'll tie it all together to see what a truly smart supply chain actually looks like. All right, first up, why Bangladesh? How did it become this absolute go-to for the world's biggest names in apparel? Let me tell you, this was not an accident. It's the result of a world-class system that's been deliberately built and refined and battle-tested for decades. What's so important to understand here is how all these advantages connect. This is a whole ecosystem built to deliver consistent quality, but at a massive scale. And the pricing is viable, not because they're cutting corners, but because the whole system is just incredibly efficient. And maybe most importantly, it's all built on decades of experience working with top US and European buyers. They already know the rules of the game. So, you might be wondering, how is that level of consistency and scale even possible, especially with how crazy the market is today? Well, it all comes down to the foundation of their success, a mature and fully integrated manufacturing ecosystem. This right here is what integrated really means in practice. I mean, think about it. From spinning the raw fibers and weaving the fabric, to the dyeing, the assembly, and the final packaging, the entire supply chain is right there, often just miles apart. This vertical integration is the engine that drives all their efficiency and reliability. So what does all this mean for you, the buyer? Well, it means consolidated sourcing, way less complexity, and fewer moving parts for you to manage. It means you can have diverse production while keeping things consistent across massive orders. And it's all supported by a huge, experienced workforce that already knows the strict quality and compliance standards of Western markets inside and out. Okay, let's talk about something that is absolutely critical for any modern brand: sustainability. You know, this isn't just a buzzword anymore. It's a core part of your brand's value. And in Bangladesh, green manufacturing is now happening at a really significant scale. Now, there's this common myth out there that competitive pricing has to come at the expense of environmental or ethical standards. But the reality is, Bangladesh's cost advantage is driven by structural efficiency. We're talking large-scale operations, high productivity, and strong supply chain links, not by compromising on quality or responsibility. And hey, if you need proof, here it is. Bangladesh has actually become a world leader in LEED-certified green apparel factories. These places use energy-efficient machinery, water-saving tech, and manage chemicals responsibly. So for brands with serious ESG targets, this means you don't have to choose between cost and sustainability. You can actually get both. Okay, so the infrastructure and the capabilities are clearly there. But let's be honest, for an international buyer, trying to navigate this landscape can still feel a little daunting. The key, it seems, is having the right partner on the ground to really unlock the country's full potential. For example, one type of facilitator that helps bridge this gap is an organization like Trade and Investment Bangladesh, or TINB. These kinds of independent sourcing partners are specifically designed to add strategic value and, frankly, reduce risk for international buyers. So what does a local partner actually do? Well, they're the ones who can match you with pre-vetted factories that are right for your product. They handle the tricky cost negotiations transparently, they manage quality assurance on the factory floor, and they help with that mountain of compliance paperwork. The goal is to make the entire process, from finding a factory to final delivery, totally seamless and secure. And this brings us to the final, and maybe the most important idea of all. The real value comes when you stop thinking about sourcing as just a simple transaction and you start building a genuine strategic partnership. This shift in mindset is absolutely key. A strategic sourcing partnership means you see Bangladesh not just as a place to get things made, but as a reliable, integrated extension of your own global supply chain. It's about achieving higher quality, better delivery, and sustainable cost advantages for the long haul. This whole concept is really captured perfectly in this call to action. Source with confidence. Source with clarity. Source Bangladesh with TNIB. It really frames the ideal approach as one that's built on control, transparency, and trust.
So we'll leave you with this one final question to think about. When you look at your own operations, ask yourself, is your sourcing strategy just a series of one-off transactions, or is it a true strategic partnership built to make your supply chain more resilient, more responsible, and more competitive for the future?